Okay. What's the example again? When there's an incident where our chief cook.
No, that's a, no, sorry, I'm getting you confused. Right, the example of um, taking ownership and responsibility. Right, you could use this one like the chief cook,
Mm-hmm.
become unwell, so you offered your thing where you took responsibility and knew that the assistant cook couldn't do it on his own,
Mm-hmm.
so you went to the owner of the ship and the assistant cook and offered your services because you had catering experience.
Because we're expecting 50
We were
very
expecting 50
important.
very VIP guests. So that was taking ownership and responsibility. That's given an example, right?
And the second is when the alarm.
Right, the second one is give an example of being customer focused where the customer is put first, right? Where you have worked effectively as a team.
Mm-hmm.
So, working, you had to clean the standard, or you could just say there was a team of us was put into Birmingham School because we knew there were VIP guests was coming, and because
Yeah,
I've,
yeah.
I've had good feedback from my manager because I do my job thoroughly in that. He asked me if I could go in and ensure that the school was clean to very high standards for these visits. That's working effectively as a team. Me and other team members ensured the school was clean to very high standards for the inspection. That's working effectively. That's a simple, small answer, right? Being customer focused, right, is where you put the customer first. So, what you could say is like, it could just be fabricated, it doesn't have to be made up. You know, where you put the teacher first. You knew she was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
okay? She was struggling to carry heavy boxes,
Mm-hmm.
so you offered to assist to carry her out because she was on her own. That's putting her first. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So you kindly offered, she said no, but you insisted to give her a hand to move her belongings out into her car because you see she was struggling, or you offered her a trolley or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
By offering her a trolley to carry the stuff
Yeah.
and you assisted her.
But what if I'm still doing my duties?
No, but that all you can say is give an example of where you worked, where you put the customer first. So you put the teacher first. You knew she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She was struggling
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to carry all the boxes. There was no one else available to help her because the Johnny had finished.
Yeah,
He had went off in shift.
yeah, yeah,
So you had discussed it with your team members, your
yeah,
other cleaners, if it was okay if you could offer her to assist her.
yeah.
It wasn't you weren't helping her move, but you put her first because you knew she was struggling.
All right.
So simple example like that. It doesn't have to be. It's just they'll say to you, if you remember being customer focused,
Mm-hmm.
the meaning of the word customer focused is where you have done something beyond and you've put that person first, whether it be a pupil, whether it be a person, or whether it be a thing.
All right.
Just remember customer focused as an example and just think of the pregnant teacher.
All right. All right.
That you went beyond the call of duty to help her to remove her stuff and carry the heavy boxes because she was quite heavy pregnant and you were worried.
Yeah.
You saw she was struggling to carry them, so you offered to give her a trolley to make things easier. Yeah?
Yeah.
Give an example of where you have worked effectively as a team. Well, the school of saying give exceptionally about the VIP visit to Birmingham school. So it
Yeah.
had to be cleaned up to high standards. So that's an example of that, right? Right, challenging situation. Give an example of a challenging situation when someone has been rude either on the ship or in his previous jobs, but needs positive resolution. Right? So you could give the example when you were at Eat, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You were serving a customer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on you didn't use your work colleagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could just say that the customer was adamant that he gave you £50, a £50 or £20 note, okay?
Mm-hmm.
and he had said to you that you had given him the wrong change back, okay? But he was becoming quite aggressive. He was shouting and swearing at me, okay? So what I said to him was I remained calm, and I explained to the gentleman that I would go and get my manager to check the CCTV camera, okay? Just say to check the CCTV camera, because we had a camera on the till, to then ensure that it was the correct note, that he did only give me a £20 note, you know, and that I had gave him the correct change. And that way you were diffusing the situation with the client, you know, with the customer who was becoming aggressive, and you then contacted your manager and let them deal with it. That's challenging behaviour.
Another example of.
Another example, the young child in the school locking you out all the time. You know, holding the door and not letting you entry. So he was challenging you in the entry, which was stopping you to get in. So what you said to him was, look, if you don't open the door or release the door, I'm going to have to call the head teacher. Do you understand what I mean? So that was challenging. He was playing a game with you.
All right.
Simple as that. It doesn't have to be confrontation. It doesn't have to be somebody fighting or shouting in your face. When someone was rude to you on the ship, or, you know, if you mention your bosses and that, they get a wee bit funny about that. So you better not mention work colleagues or bosses, but you're just saying, you know, so we're a customer. You could say, I was working in a catering outlet, and I remember this customer, you know, he was adamant that I had given him the wrong amount of change back, you know, and he started becoming really quite aggressive to me. So I never interacted with him. I remained calm, and I listened to the customer, and what I said to him was, okay, I will go and get my manager to check the CCTV camera, which is above the till, okay, and they will be able to check the exact amount of the money, the change that she would, you know, to resolve the situation.
Gave you.
That I gave you the correct change back. So that way, that's why we have cameras, to ensure this.
What if the customer is in a hurry?
Well, all you can say is then that was not your problem. You know, you have to notify your manager because you don't have the authorization to give money out. But you knew, because you have to punch in the right amount of money.
Yeah.
The till will not give out. The till will not open up until you put in the amount.
Yes.
You know, so that's where then it was out of your control. You had to then hand it over to your manager or the supervisor, because there was nothing else you could do. You had no authorization to open up the till, but you were adamant that you had given them the right money, and you were correct, you had. You know, or you can say, you could take the customer's name and details, and, you know, when your manager cashes up the till at the end of the night, if there was any overage, you know, any extra money left in the till, then that would be up to your manager to then notify him. I think the simpler one is just keeping it simple. The challenger got very aggressive and started shouting and swearing at me. You know, I explained that I was adamant that he had gave me the correct money, and I had gave him the correct change back. So what I then said to him is that we have CCTV cameras all above the tills, which records, which will show the amount of money I put into the till.
All right.
And I will get my manager to check that for you. And you then handed it over to your manager to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you manage your time effectively? Detail your routine with the cleaning and highlight the importance of completing tasks at set and realistic thingies. So how do you manage time effectively? So it's about prioritising. You know, so you know you've got 2 hours, okay? So your daily routine. So give examples in your cleaning job that you know, for example, you know the school was closed, blah blah blah, or when it's rainy or sweat, you know, you ensure that they try and keep. No, that's
not.
No. How to manage time effectively? You always try and get into your job early. Okay, not bang on your starting time. You always try to get in 15, 20 minutes early, so that you can organise all your cleaning utensils, you know, your buckets, your mops, your bins and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's managing time effectively, and you prioritise what has
And
to be
sometimes
done.
I even extend
No,
time.
but what you prioritise is getting the hallway done, making sure the public areas are kept clean first, the toilets and that, and then you can do other stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? That's giving an example of prioritising your time. You've got 2 hours to do X, Y, and Z. So you always ensure that you go in 15 minutes early to get your cleaning stuff ready. You know, your box, your buckets, your buckets for carrying stuff, you know, and take out the rubbish first
Yeah.
before you start, and then you clean the public areas first and the toilets and all that to ensure that they're clean in the dining area before the children come to school. That's prioritising. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's giving an example of how you manage your time effectively. So, you know, you give yourself certain times, like say half an hour to do the stairs, half an hour to do this, half an hour to do that, and you prioritise what is more important. So the toilets, hoovering, you know, you alternate the hoovering of the rooms. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, dusting and high dusting.
Alternate.
Alternate, right. How do you manage your time effectively? Detail and routine. Detail your routine and cleaning, right? And highlight the importance of cleaning and completing the tasks on time. You know, so you say you give yourself average 45 minutes to clean the stairwell, half an hour, you know, so you're prioritising your time to ensure that paying attention to detail, ensuring that the standards are kept to high. Yeah? That's it. Simple as that, Bubba. It's no.
It's finished.
Yeah, that's the question she's asked.
All right.